come on in here.
Sure.
Brian's the man. Now you're gonna have to speak loudly, okay?
Okay.
Just to make sure that's, because I know you're a soft-spoken man. I've already talked to you.
Yes.
So, what's the name of your company, Brian?
It's called Rocket Performance.
Rocket Performance.
Yes.
And you have a process for cleaning non-ferrous metals.
That's right. Yes.
And basically, okay, when a lot of people take their cranks apart and their jugs off and all that, they usually send them out and they get blasted,
Sure.
bead blasted.
Yep.
What's the difference between that and what you do?
The difference is all the dry blasting processes will tend to damage the base metal. They'll cause pores in the metal. They open the structure up, which allow you to leave fingerprints, and
Yes.
the parts will get dirty after. The vapor blasting process uses water, blast media, and compressed air, and that process actually sort of closes and peens the surface. So you get a nice sort of semi-gloss surface finish, and the pores are closed, and it's a really good way to clean the metal. The other thing is the vapor blasting process doesn't cause any dimensional changes. So if you dry blast a part, quite often you'll actually erode part of the base metal away and change its shape and dimensions and so on. So the dry processes can be very, very damaging to engine components.
Now, did you develop this or what?
I didn't develop it. No, I was got into this whole thing. I was rebuilding a 1973 Norton Commando 850, and well, my engine didn't actually look much cleaner than this one. But part of doing the restoration is I really wanted a good way to sort of clean and restore the alloy castings. I couldn't find any processes in North America that I was happy with. Was reading the British motorcycle magazines, and a lot of them were talking about this process called vapor blasting. I did some research, found it is very popular in the UK. There's very few companies that offer the service in North America. So I kept my eye open for some processing equipment to run this process. Found some, and started the business about 1.5 years ago.
Huh. And up until now, you've been doing a lot of sled stuff or motorcycles.
A lot of motorcycle work, yes. Yeah, the word got out fairly quickly in the motorcycle community that I had this process and I was running it.
Yep.
So I've been mostly busy in that market, but certainly the process is perfectly suitable for this application.
Totally.
As well.
Totally. And I'll be the first to say that when I do get these nice clean cylinders back from other companies, they do get marked like dirty and fingerprints all over them very quickly, right?
Sure.
So I'm going to be interested to see how this whole thing works. Now, we're not going to be going to your facility or anything because we're just at the show here
Sure.
in Toronto, but you're going to take this back to your shop.
Yep. I take this away to the shop in Whitby, and I'll bring the castings back tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, I have to thank you for that. Because that's, you've come out of your way to do this.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to doing this.
Much appreciated. Now, right there. Now, this head, I just want to look at this, or this cylinder. This is a monocylinder. Just taking a look at it. This is actually going to be going out for a big bore.
Sure.
But I'm sure he's going to appreciate very much your cleaning process instead of getting it like this.
Nice clean set of castings.
Yeah, but everything actually looks good in here. Just some normal wear. But after you're done, who knows? Sometimes maybe your process might show up some damage that's in there that people can't see.
Quite often, actually, I've cleaned castings and we've found fractures. I've done some motorcycle work where we've had critical structural elements that have been painted or were sort of very dirty.
Yeah.
I've cleaned them up and we've found fatigue fractures in the parts. Yeah. So those parts have been repaired and
Very good.
stopped people from getting hurt.
Does this
Now-
remove paint?
Yes, it'll remove paint. Yeah, so so these parts were sort of factory painted with typical black engine paint. I can take all that paint off. It takes more time. It's a little longer to run the process to get the paint off, but with that.
Oh,
Not the guts.
there we go.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to box this up and you're going to come back tomorrow.
Yes, I will.
You're going to show us the desired result.
How nice and shiny and clean it is.
Sweet.
Yes, absolutely.
Good. Well, looking forward to it.
So are we.
Here we go. That's the end of the night, and it is a perfect way to close down the show, isn't it? Right on. Well, thanks for coming, Brian.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Brian's back. Brian's back with our parts. I had a quick peek, and they look pretty cool, but I didn't want to look at everything because I'm still in awe.
Sure.
Okay, so you just took these home last night,
Yep.
and you cleaned them all up.
Yep.
And I want to see everything. It looks like
Well,
candy.
Why don't we start with the cylinder head?
Now this
that
cylinder
now.
head was the one that was all damaged up.
Yeah.
It looks,
I just did half, so it just shows a good before and after.
look at that. It looks like you painted it.
Yes, yeah, I have a lot of people who say it looks like it's a paint finish, but it's not. It's just clean. And you notice the detail in the casting. The casting hasn't been damaged. That texture has remained,
Yeah.
and you can see all the lettering, and so there's no damage to the casting. It's just clean.
That is totally amazing.
Yeah. Now, if you were interested in sort of doing like a weld repair where this was damaged,
Yep.
if this was clean, then you would have a nice clean base metal for doing your weld repair.
Ah,
So it's
yeah.
Good for cleaning prior to weld repairs, and then you can then vapor blast after the weld repair, and then you'll get sort of the same semi-gloss or matte surface
Hey,
finish.
it cleaned up the threads as well.
Yeah, no, it does a pretty good job.
Okay, let's see what else.
Okay, well, so here's the cylinders.
Whoa, look at that. Holy.
So it does a really good job of getting in all the little nooks and crannies and so on. When it comes out of the process, when I hand the castings off to a customer, what I recommend they do is take it home and wash it again in hot water. And if they have a little spray nozzle, go in and clean all the deep thread.
I would
borders
do
out.
that anyway.
Yeah.
If I get something back from somebody, I'm going to blow it all out, make sure there's no contaminants in there before you start it up.
Yeah.
Only makes sense, right?
Yep.
Then oil it up and put her back together. Wow, that looks awesome. You know what? I would be able to see if there were any cracks or anything in there.
You would, absolutely, yeah. They show up as dark black lines.
Whoa.
And they're really easy to see.
That looks incredible.
Yep.
More.
So another little piece here. This was part of the water fitting that was on the head.
It totally looks like it was painted. I can't believe that.
Yeah.
That really is the way. Whether you're doing a custom sled or rebuilding it, this is the way to go. You want it to look like that.
Yeah, you get a nice clean start. You know what you're working on.
Yep.
All the bearing surfaces are nice and clean now. So if you were going to Loctite the bearing shells in position, it gives you a nice clean substrate for the Loctite to work on.
You got my water pump out.
I got the water pump.
You're such a good guy.
I just didn't want to get it loaded up with blast media. So
Oh, what a guy.
yeah.
Well, that's very thoughtful. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Wow, that looks great. And what else is in here? This will be the other part of that. I'm really interested to see what the piston looks like. Well, this is going to be ready to go back together with that big bore kit. It's going to be beastly. Wow. Look at that. Now we did this. You wouldn't normally do this to a piston before you put it back in.
You could, certainly. It's a really good way to decarbon the piston. It takes the carbon off without doing
Yeah.
any damage to the piston. You
But-
see the scuff marks
Yeah,
there.
look at the scuff.
They show up, plain as day.
Well, that's going to go on the shelf beside the all the other ones.
Sure.
That looks really cool. What's that? What's in here? Well, this is the base plate. Wow, this is ready to go, man. Back together. That is so tight looking, Brian. Wow. Now, what are these other things here I see?
So some of the things I've got going here is a lot of the people that do this sort of restoration work say, well, now I've got the castings nice and clean. How do I stop them from corroding? How do I stop them from getting dirty? So I did some research. ACF 50 is really popular in the British motorcycle restoration crowd, and in fact, it's made in Mississauga. And so what I recommend doing is just spraying that on a cloth and wiping it on the castings, and you can repeat that once, every 6 months or once a year.
Yep. Now you look at this. This can has a helicopter and a plane and a jet and a float plane on it. And ACF 50 brings me back almost 20 years to my aviation days.
Right.
Float flying. When people would, I was involved with float flying quite a lot, and maintenance repair as well. When people would dunk their planes in the water, flip them upside down, you'd pull all the electronics out. They have a bath of ACF 50, and they just put the electronic components right in it, and it'd take the water out. And it would, treat it basically.
Yeah.
So I used this years ago, and I ran out, and I was like,
Right.
where do I get it? That's
It's
awesome.
Safe on plastic. You can use it for wire harnesses to clean up wire harnesses
Yep.
and connectors. So electrically it's safe. It works really well. And
It's mill spec. See that?
mill spec.
Mill PRF 309.
Yeah, it's a great product.
Yep.
Made right here in Canada. The company that makes that also make a whole series of corrosion block products, including again a heavier sort of spray-on version of that. They make this corrosion block grease. It's dielectric, waterproof, and it's even wheel bearing rated. So I use that for just about everything. It's really a good multi-purpose grease.
Very
so,
cool.
So I'll let you have one of those.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And what's that?
Well, the other thing I was going to do is going to just give a little demo here. So, if you were to bead blast these castings, you would end up with a surface finish that was like really porous.
Right.
And it'd be easy to get fingerprints on. And if you ever wrote on it with a Sharpie, sort of R is for rocket, that would be pretty much it. It would be there for life. But if we have a cloth.
We have, Simon, can you grab that cloth?
Sorry, guys.
Right.
I'm just going to give this a little spray.
Yep.
Just give that a little weight. Gone.
Yeah, I see what your point is. If it's porous, it would just you wouldn't be able to get all the marker out.
You would never get it out. No, it'd be there for life. So, so I just sort of illustrates the difference in the surface finish of the different blasting processes.
Now, if I sent you this complete engine,
Yes.
to all the components to clean up, what are we looking at price? Cleaned.
Clean, yeah.
Not full of grease.
Yeah, it's not full of grease. So degreased and with the gasket material removed, it'd be 3 hours. Think about 3 hours of labor to do that. $70 an hour, so it get you at the door for under $250.
That's awesome. To do what a lot of guys do is they go buy a bunch of brake cleaner, and they do this, and it just comes out all bad, and there's gunk all over it still, and they've wasted $100 of brake cleaner trying to do something that doesn't even come close to that.
Right.
Well, that is excellent.
Right.
So, Brian here is at Rocket Performance. Brian, I have to thank you very much. Excellent process. And you know what? My guys, everybody who watches, they're going to love to see this.
Excellent.
And they're going to love to see this motor put back together. A lot of times I'll throw an engine back together. Doesn't look so good. But this is going to look like a jewel.